Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this morning's devotion. It's a great opportunity again to spend time in the Word with one another and to hear and see a few different faces from church as well, all of which are probably getting progressively hairier as the weeks go by. I feel that we're at a stage now, aren't we, where a lot of men and men in particular, I assume, are entering the shaving your head period of lockdown. Maybe some of them are deluded enough to think they look like David Beckham from the year 2000, but I can assure you that is not the case. It's strange, isn't it, that how fear it can take a hold of us, can't it, and make us feel or have the urge to do something and act and to try take control back. It could be something as trivial as shaving your head, but more than likely it's something far more serious than that. The idea of someone that you know falling ill, of you falling ill yourself, of maybe financial fears or fears over the future in general, when things will be back to normal, or whatever normal is. Now, I don't personally believe that fear is a bad thing. It's part of our build-up, isn't it, of our human emotion. But one thing that I would question is where we allow that fear to take us, and where that fear leads us. So this morning we're going to look at a couple of verses from Numbers, chapter 14. If you want to turn there, starting at verse 1. And it says, "So all the congregation lifted up their voices and cried, and the people wept that night. And all the children of Israel complained against Moses and Aaron, and the whole congregation said to them, 'If only we had died in the land of Egypt, or if only we had died in this wilderness. Why has the Lord brought us to this land, to fall by the sword, that our wives and children should become victims? Would it not be better for us to return to Egypt?' So they said to one another, 'Let us select a leader and return to Egypt.' So at this point, we find the Israelites have just left Mount Sinai, and they're carrying on their journey to the promised land. And they've become scared, they've become fearful and anxious and annoyed at the situation that they're finding themselves in. Maybe similar to some of us at the moment. As they're going through the wilderness, they don't see an end to it. People have already mentioned in previous chapters in Numbers that they want to go back to Egypt, where there was food and there was shelter. Moses' sister and brother have already voiced their opinion about how they're questioning Moses' ability as a leader. And they've kind of lost a bit of faith in him, to be honest. Remember, this is Moses who he led them out of Egypt. They've seen the Red Sea part in front of them. God's protected them up until this point, and He's provided for them whenever they've needed it. But their fear of the unknown has caused them to question everything that they know and have physically seen to be true, to the point where they've decided they want to go back to Egypt, where they were comfortable. And I wonder, is this true of us sometimes? Do we let fear dictate our faith in God? Do we continue to believe in His promises in the face of adversity? Or do we think, you know what, it was easier the way I lived before. I'm going back to that. I'm going back to what I knew, the tried and tested way that was comfortable. This morning I want to encourage you with that simple message to keep going to the promised land, because our promised land is somewhere that's definitely going to be worth waiting for, isn't it? C.S. Lewis said, "God knows our situation. He will not judge us as if we had no difficulties to overcome. What matters is the sincerity and perseverance of our will to overcome them." Billy Graham said, an encouragement for us. He said, I've read the last page of the Bible. It's all going to turn out all right. And then, one of the best quotes of all time, and be sure of this, I am with you always, even to the end of the age. And that's Jesus. Let's pray. Lord, as we enter another day, we want to thank you. We want to thank you for your faithfulness, Lord, and how you never fail us. Thank you for sending your Son. Thank you for the life that we have in you. Forgive us when we lose track of that and we feel that you're not able. Remind us of how able you are. And pray as we go into this day, you'll look after us and you'll bless us. In Jesus'